Well, I've been in the business since before Pontius was a pilot and the Dead Sea hadn't even reported sick. And that, I think, is about the time, probably 30-odd thousand years ago, when these Homus naledi and his offspring and his relatives lived in this particular area. It fascinates me, absolutely fascinates me. We explain that they could have lived in this whole area. We're on the northern stretches. But when you look over that area, the landscape hasn't changed much in terms of the rocks and the mountains and the formations. Maybe the vegetation's changed, maybe it's less forestation and there used to be down south. But it hasn't changed a great deal. And these mountains, this is what we tell people as well. These are the Magaliesbergs. Now, if you read the South African book, they will tell you that they're the oldest mountains in the world. But if you read the South American book, they're the second oldest mountains in the world. It's great to share that sense of place and the feeling that you get with other people. We're all so enthusiastic about what we do, and we're sharing it with other people. And then at the end of the flight, when people say, "Oh, thank you so much, thank you very much," and we sometimes say, "Well, thank you for paying for us to have fun." And of course, then we're going to come back for breakfast and have some of my most famous Northumbrian porridge, which is another story. That's only 600 or 700 years old. I came to this country from Bermuda, and ever since I was a 14-year-old, I was always interested in sailing. And as I became more fortunate, I managed to have a beautiful sailboat, a 45-foot ocean-going sailboat and a water ski boat. And living in Bermuda, people said, "But it's a golfing nation, why are you sailing?" And I said, "Well, the girls wear much more interesting clothes when they're sailing." But I loved sailing, I really loved sailing. And then I came to this country. I'm as far away from the sea as Bermuda is from dry land, so I looked for another hobby. And a hot air balloon flew over. In 1976, it flew over my house in Randburg in those days. I ran out, I said, "Where do I learn to do this?" And this guy, Terry Adams, he was number 5 in the world at the time. He taught me, and most of the old pilots in South Africa he taught. And I took it up as a hobby, one that I couldn't really afford. And I thought, well, maybe if I charge people, they can pay for it. And then I'll have free flying. And then I was approached on the 1st of April, 1981, by DCA, as it was then. He said, "Arthur Thomas here." He said, "You're running an airline and hire and reward, and you're not licensed." And I said, "If it wasn't April Fool's Day, after midday." And I said, "Okay, fine. What do I do? How high do I have to jump? You know, if they want you to jump as high as you can and do your best to cooperate." And we did, and we applied for an airline license. So I'm an airline owner. We're a fully licensed, non-scheduled airline ever since 1981. And that means, for the public's point of view, the passenger's point of view, it means that we do things right. We're properly insured, we're properly maintained, properly licensed aircraft. Our pilots go on the courses, regular updates every 6 months. I check them. Every year they do a crew resource management course. And it's brought the standard up of ballooning throughout the country. When we started, we called the company Balloon Safaris South Africa, what we did and where we did it. And then other people, seeing you think you're getting rich, you know, but they see you doing it and they say, "Oh yeah, we do ballooning in South Africa." So I had to change the name because the travel agents from overseas were getting a bit confused. So then we thought, well, let's do it's an Edwardian sort of theme, isn't it? So let's do the old Edwardian. If it ain't the original, you shouldn't be doing it. So we put up Bill Harrop's original Balloon Safaris. And of course that name has stuck. It's been a bit of a joke, and it makes people ask, why do you say you're the original? And so I can explain it.
I'm John Torode and you're watching Joburg Today.